Welcome to the Straight Talk on Fleet podcast with Erin Gilchrist. Each week, Erin will be breaking down fleet management, trying to cut through the noise and get down to the real issues safety and operations leaders are struggling with every day. The goal will be to get to the bottom of how leaders can break down these silos of information, accelerate change management, how to use real-time, accurate data to drive massive efficiencies across fleet-focused business processes, and to elevate people's careers with emerging best practices. Now it's time for the Straight Talk on Fleet.
So hey again, Fleet community. We are back for the 37th episode of the Straight Talk on Fleet podcast. So I'm Erin Gilchrist-Rugg. I am VP of Fleet Evangelism at IntelliShift. So what that means is that I get to do this. I get to host a podcast. And what I aim to do is be objective and reliable in terms of being a source of information on our fleet ecosystem. And why do I get to do this? Because I have a lot of experience. I ran a very large fleet for over 15 years. I've spent a lot of time in the industry, served on some boards, certainly have been out and about with all of you at our events and trade shows, and really love fleet. So excited about today. Today we get to talk about ROI analysis. Sounds riveting, right? But if you really think about it, it's a critical part of the change management process. So, not to mention your customer experience journey with your strategic partners, suppliers, however you classify your vendor, supplier, or support network, right? This is a tool, right? And I've done a few other episodes that are related to this topic that I think play well with what we're going to talk about today. Episode 5 on change and project management, we talk about the importance of ROI analysis in the change and project management process. So that's a great one to listen to if you're new to the Straight Talk on Fleet and want to kind of put all these pieces together. Another is episode 11 on switching tools and technology. It's a tough thing to do. You have tools and tech in your fleet, and it's not going great and you want to make a switch. So we talk about how to do that, why to do that, and how the ROI is an important part of that. Certainly episode 14 on KPIs for fleet safety and ops leaders. So again, if you're new to the Straight Talk on Fleet, give those a listen and help round this whole thing out. So let's dig in. So what's an ROI? I think most of us know, but it's a financial evaluation method, right? It's used to assess sort of the profitability and financial performance of an investment or project. So what's the purpose? It's to determine whether that investment is going to generate a positive or negative return to its cost over a specific period. And it serves quite a few purposes, right? So it helps in financial decision making. So it can help you, your business, your organization make informed decisions about how you want to allocate resources, capital expense, funding to various projects or initiatives or investments, resource allocation. So it'll assist you in prioritizing and allocating resources or projects or investments that offer the highest potential for financial gains or I would just say positive outcomes, right? Why would we want to do something that's not going to bring about positive change in our organizations? And when we talk about ROI today, we're going to focus on fleet safety tech because it's a hot topic. So we'll dig into that a little bit more. Risk assessment, by quantifying your potential return, the analysis allows decision makers to assess the associated risk and rewards of the investment and helping us make risk-adjusted choices, right? Performance measurement. ROI serves as a performance metric that enables the evaluation of the success or failure of the investment project by comparing its returns to its costs. So that's the formula, right? That basic formula really is, the net return or income divided by the investment cost times 100, right? So if you want to think about it that way. Also, goal alignment. It ensures that this investment aligns with the organization's strategic goals and objectives. So helping to not only quantify the return, but prioritize projects, as they relate to the overall mission for the organization with other things going on. Budgeting planning, right? Organizations can use ROI analyses to develop budgets, forecast future financial outcomes, and again, plan for those resource allocations. Continuous improvement by analyzing the ROI of past investments, right? Organizations can learn from their experience and make more informed decisions in the future. I'm trying to think if we missed anything. No, I think that kind of rounds it out. So, again, the ROI analysis serves multiple purposes. And again, I think too, it's this living and breathing sort of document. And we'll dig into that in a little bit and why I think that. So lots go into this model, right? That'll really make or break your pitch to leadership. So the method or tool is really just the beginning of a journey that starts with what you'll achieve because you've been conservative in your analysis, which is a recommendation that I make, but it layers in and explains how you'll benefit over the initial return period that you've measured and you've promised, and really morphs into this sort of consultative tool between you, your organization, and your supplier partners, right? So I look at it as it's a starting point, right? You want to do something, you want to initiate a safety tool or tech, you develop this model that's going to say, here's where we're going to save, here's what we know we can do. But then it also layers in all of these other opportunities for improvement over time. And that's when it really turns into more of that consultative tool instead of just an initial evaluation of a specific project, tool, tech, investment, whatever. So when you're conducting an ROI analysis for your fleet technology, and when I say you, I mean this is really a partnership thing, right? So anyone that you are going in or considering going into business with, and again, I'm going to refer to fleet safety technology, this is something that they should be building for you, evaluating with you. So you'll need to think about some key components, and they will, right, to determine the financial benefits and the feasibility of implementing the tech. So here are some essential components, in my opinion, that I recommend in your ROI analysis for your fleet technology, safety technology. So your initial investment cost. So that's your hardware cost. So calculating that upfront expense for purchasing and installing the safety tech equipment like dash cams, telematics devices, any collision avoidance systems, whatever. Software costs, that includes costs associated with the fleet intelligence platform, software platforms, analytical tools, any licensing fees, airtime fees, things like that. Then the installation and integration costs, right? Account for expenses related to the installation of the hardware and the integration of the safety technology with existing fleet management systems or vehicles, right? Subscription and service fees, kind of mentioned this. Consider ongoing subscriptions or service fees associated with maintaining and using that tech, including data plans, software updates, ongoing support. But arguably, if you pick that right partner who helps develop this ROI and it's holistic and all-inclusive, right? That, you will have the support from that supplier that you need. And frankly, in my opinion, that should not ever cost you anything in the future over and above what you planned, right? Because, they're making that promise up front that what you're buying, the whole package, is going to be effective, right? That's the ROI is the homework that you've done to prove it out. And it's also the report that you submitted, and again, that ongoing consultative tool. So the next component is training and implementation, thinking about budgeting for employee training and onboarding to make sure that the drivers, operators, fleet personnel, operations folks who might be using the tools, the tech, the outcome, the reporting can effectively utilize it, right? Operational costs, assessing how the safety tech impacts the operational costs, such as fuel efficiency improvements, reduce maintenance expenses, lower insurance premiums to enhance, due to the enhanced safety records that we know you'll experience when you do safety tech. Again, I do a whole podcast just on telematics and AI video dash cams, which I would strongly recommend, as it relates to operational cost reduction, but more importantly, the benefit that you have by reducing accidents, which is really a people-first strategy. On that note, risk reduction benefits. So quantifying the potential reduction in accident-related costs, such as repair expenses, medical bills, insurance claims, as a result of improving your safety, again, and estimating the decrease in liability and legal costs due to fewer accidents and lower accident severity. That's something that can be quantified and should be quantified. And you'll find, on that note, that there are certain aspects of an ROI that your organization can get on board with and that they can't. But again, if you stick to these top things, and you're conservative, even though you and I know that we might achieve more, again, you can build that in over time. So speaking about insurance and liability, insurance premium savings, right? Calculating the potential savings on insurance premiums that can result from adopting safety tech and reducing the likelihood of accidents. On that note, the accident avoidance. I mean, that's what you want to quantify, the benefit of accident avoidance technologies in terms of prevented accidents, injuries, and fatalities, right? Estimating the cost associated with avoiding those things, including the medical expenses, the vehicle repairs, the legal fees, etc. That's a big one in this type of tech. Driver behavior improvements. Analyze the impact of safety tech on driver behavior, including reducing incidents of aggressive driving, distracted driving, speeding, harsh braking, all that good stuff, and determine how those improvements in driver behavior contribute to the overall efficiency of the asset, right? Lowering fuel consumption and maintenance costs. But again, and I've said this so many times, if you build for safety, then you will recognize savings in all areas and succeed in all areas of fleet management. Productivity gains. And this is one that, sometimes is hard to quantify. And sometimes organizations don't buy into the fact that, hey, if I have less fuel stops or my vehicles are more efficient and I don't need as much maintenance, then I'm going to get I'm going to spray another lawn, or I'm going to put in another cable, or I'm going to do one more job for the day. But either way, it is important from a productivity standpoint to consider the potential increased productivity and efficiency gains resulting from reduced downtime due to lower accident rates, lower accident investigation time, faster claim processing, etc. And then, if you think about vehicle efficiency, when you improve the vehicle efficiency, again, higher MPGs, reduce maintenance. So again, you can have productivity gains, but I'll warn you, that's a tough one. But it's really about data-driven decision-making, right? Assessing how the safety tech provides valuable data and analytics that can inform better decision-making for fleet management, roles in the organization, operators, drivers, and route optimization. I love this one because really, how can fleet intelligence, again, do a whole podcast on this. I think it's episode 10, where I talk about, a single connected platform for data. But when you can access your information, whether it be safety, fuel, maintenance, et cetera, in one place, that saves you and your team time, right? You can make better decisions and focus on other things. Insurance claim processing time, I kind of touched on that. There could be reduced time in processing claims when you've adopted a safety tech that provides that clear incident data and evidence, sort of in real time. And some other things to consider, right? Driver retention and recruitment. When I think about safety tech, and when I think about this idea of return on investment for safety tech, I really think that it's a driver recruitment and retention tool, right? Method. Recognize how these investments in safety tech can improve your driver satisfaction and retention rates, and reducing costs for recruiting and training too, because you've made it easy for them to be safe. I've said that on a number of my podcasts, but there is something to be said there. But driver retention and recruitment is definitely part of a good ROI analysis as it relates to safety tech for your vehicles. Regulatory compliance, this is a big one. Consider how the safety tech will make it easier to boost compliance and ensure compliance with regulatory requirements, standards, internal, external, potentially avoiding fines or penalties. For some organizations, it's a big number. And then environmental impact. I love this one. Again, I do a whole podcast on sustainability. And again, you build for safety, you're going to win everywhere, but evaluate the environmental benefits of reduced fuel consumption and emissions resulting from better behind the wheel behavior. That is one that I think is more easily quantifiable than you might think. So really, running down through these again, it's a lot, right? Your initial investment cost, installation and integration, subscription and service fees, training and implementation, operational costs, risk reduction benefits, insurance premium savings, driver behavior improvement, accident avoidance, productivity gains, data-driven decision making, potentially insurance claim processing time, depending on how you handle that, driver retention and recruitment, compliance, and environmental impact. So lots of areas to include. But again, you have the right strategic partner, supplier, trusted advisor, whoever you're working with, to help your organization understand all the benefits, and a holistic ROI analysis on safety tech should be providing you with this. And then they build it, and it's just a conversation. You're going to walk through each and every area of these and determine how much you think you can achieve. And you'll find as you chip away at this, you build this conservative model of savings that should have your organization saying, how quickly can we do this? So that reporting and communication piece, really you benefit when you have a good ROI analysis. So present your analysis, your findings in a clear and compelling manner to decision makers, stakeholders, investors, whatever, to justify the adoption of the safety tech. And in my opinion, putting a WIFM, or what's in it for me, spin on it really matters. I've talked about this a lot in my podcast, from the organization to the driver and the operator, and go as far as to share how not only will we save money here, but share how you'll get everyone on board, right? What that communication strategy looks like. Pilots, communication, collaboration, driver and operator adoption, making sure they understand why you're doing this and what's in it for them, that you really care about their safety and that you want them to get home every day in better shape than they came to work in. And that's really where project and change management meets this ROI analysis and gets you to next faster, right? Helps you prove it out in a more holistic way. And also remember to customize your ROI analysis to the specific safety technology solutions that you're considering, along with the unique characteristics or DNA of your organization, right? thoroughly evaluating the financial benefits and the cost associated with the fleet tech is super essential, right, to making informed investment decisions. So it's kind of this marriage between, I have a great tool that's really going to spell this out for everyone, and then on the other side of it, why are we doing this? It really makes sense to do this. And again, I'd really stress the message to your organization that when you build for safety, you will be successful in all of these other areas of fleet management, which is what this tool helps you to do in a very tangible way. So again, also encourage you using this analysis as a living and breathing document and planning tool. Continue to evaluate each and every component that we've talked about to continue to realize your savings year over year. So once you've accomplished one thing, then dig in to the next thing and really evaluate your performance and make adjustments as you go. So as always, chime in, share your thoughts and ideas with me. What are you doing on this front? What works? What has worked? What hasn't worked? So we can continue to build this sort of community of fleet safety operations leaders who are focused on helping each other succeed, right? So if you found this content helpful today, share it with your community. Like and subscribe wherever you get your favorite content. And like I always say on every episode of the Straight Talk on Fleet, keep it real, keep it safe for fleet's sake. And thanks for listening.